How's it going, guys? Panther Films here, and today we're going to be reacting to Season 1, Episode 9 of Andor. This episode is titled Nobody's Listening. Our last episode, Andor went to Narkina 5, which is basically a prison where you have to take off your shoes because the Empire basically fries you, which is kind of like an electrocution or basically getting straight up cooked. And in this prison, Andor basically has to work with a team to create these metal devices. I'm not too sure what they are, but if his team does really well in the shift, they get rewarded with food. If they don't do well, they get fried. So the team has to be very productive, or just productive enough to not get fried. But with Andor, he got fried twice last episode. He got fried when he first came in, and then he got fried because his team didn't do the most amount of work. We also met Kino, who is a manager on that specific level of the prison. He is also a prisoner, but the biggest thing is he's played by Andy Serkis. I wasn't expecting that one. And Luthen last episode went to go see Saw Gerrera. That was a pretty cool scene. And Dedra now has Bix. She's being interrogated for, I assume, trying to contact Luthen last episode. So we'll have to see what happens. So yeah, this is basically the second episode of this arc. So I assume what's going to happen is maybe Andor's going to look for ways to escape the prison. Obviously, Dedra might find out information about Andor. Probably not much, considering I think it's going to be a situation where like they find out he's in prison, but he's already escaped by the time they get to him, you know? Yeah, pretty excited to get into it. So let's stop dallying around with this shitty intro and get right into the fucking episode. Oh, we're picking up right where we left off with Dedra?
To assume that everything you've dragged to shore is a fish.
What?
We have Dr. Gorst, who's developed a unique interview system some of us are very excited about. Hark attended a separatist meeting 2 years ago in Jondra where he met a woman who suggested that if he was serious about politics, he might like to act as liaison for Ferrix. Were you aware that the buyer, your contact, met Park only once before being turned over to you? Are you a fish or are you a thief? Hmm?
She's enjoying herself, what the fuck?
You have no recorded history of political troublemaking.
You're ISB, aren't you?
No shit.
You're going to tell me absolutely everything you know about the buyer.
I don't know the buyer.
Really?
Really?
He says you sit up on that radio for hours at a time.
Well, shit.
He and Andor, blowing up buildings and killing security guards. Andor and the buyer escaped together.
Yep. That was episode 3.
When was the last time you spoke with Cassian Andor?
A few months it's been, I think.
She's all yours, Dr. Gorst.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh no, we're back here.
They won't be short-handed all day. There's a new man coming down.
Two, that's a threat.
Olaf?
Some of them.
I might need some help.
What's all this?
Oh, just a little rebalancing.
You are the next man out. You are the shortest of the short.
New man for them today. Always the next day, right?
You know the drill.
Fair enough. I assume this episode's going to be focused on him, like, looking at areas in the prison.
There's an outer rim moon called Dies on Frey. The massacre of the Dizenites was broadcast and recorded as proof of mission. We've taken the recordings and modified them slightly. Believe of primarily children.
What the fuck? So you're just going to play the audio?
We ready? Let's get on with it.
What does it sound like? They're not going to... What the fuck? What was it? So he's planning something now. He's learnt a bit of the system. Now he's going to use that to his advantage. Wonder how long he's been planning this. Because he's working at it very slowly. He's going to catch him. Oh.
2 men back.
Oh, he's working with him. What the fuck?
The elevator's not wide. Nothing that moves can fry you.
I have a new idea. We attack while they're coming down.
That's risky.
Now, one guard, one weapon.
Yeah, but the floors, you can get fried on the floor.
The 49 men in this room answer to me.
Don't put them away.
Like, what did she hear?
When was the last time you spoke with Cassian Andor?
What? Stop going away! Go back to it! What the fuck?
Where do we stand? Are we in the game? We're up a rack with an hour left.
Oh no.
One rack up, hours to lose. What are you waiting for?
Keep her here. Keep her alive.
As a hostage?
As a witness.
I'd like to hang him.
What?
What's left of him, anyway. Make sure they know who's in charge.
As you wish.
Gonna hang him?
Senator from Chandra
Senate.
stands with the nation. Is there a more...
Long live the Empire, fuck off.
I stand here.
Wow, they're all turning off.
They called from the residence. Your cousin, she's arrived.
Cousin? I swear I recognise that actor who's playing the driver. I've seen him before.
They could keep us here forever if they wanted.
It's enough from you, Melchett. Right, everybody settles down right now.
What's going on? What are they saying?
I think it's level 2.
Wait, level 2.
Level 2. He's coming this way around now.
What's he saying?
Wait, what?
You haven't got a clue what they are saying. Level 2, far side. Level 2, are you all scrambled or something? Panicking about something that's happening on the other side of the building.
I mean, you seem pretty panicked right now.
Stand in place, on program, feet down, face
What is level 2?
We'll see if he lets you wear it. He lets me do anything I want.
Oh, yeah. Huh. What the fuck? She's Mon Mothma's cousin? What the fuck? Was that established?
The rebellion comes first. Just came through to see you first and get cleaned up a bit. What does he have you doing? Who? Things are happening. There's risk.
No shit.
You never think about escaping?
You flap that mouth if it was any longer, you'll regret it.
How many shifts do you have left?
217.
Tell me what you know before you go.
You're on your own with this.
Why? You think they're listening? All they need to do is turn this floor on twice a day and keep their numbers rolling.
Exactly.
How many guards on each level? Nobody's listening!
That was kind of unneeded. He didn't need to, like, yell like that.
But no ID on your axes. You're still just the buyer.
It's disappointing, I know. Andor returned to Ferrix 3 nights after Aldani with money in his pocket.
You're trying to connect Aldani.
Ooh.
That's a bit of a stretch.
No, it isn't.
He was clean-shaven. The rebels at Aldani were clean-shaven.
An Aldani connection would certainly amplify interest.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't question the mother?
He's too old and frail for anything serious. She's the reason Andor came back.
Perhaps they communicate.
I mean, he's literally in a prison right now, an Imperial prison, and they don't know. It's so funny.
They were fried out.
They're all gone.
Who said?
Both shifts.
100 men. That can't be right.
100 men?
He said they fried the whole bridge. Speak up.
Yeah, they were making trouble.
On program, feet down. We will have
Jesus.
What happened on to...
Is this hearing going? Like, stop. Hey.
Tighten up and listen. It's a rumor.
It's not.
We have heard nothing. Until we know what's going on.
Well, we gotta figure it out, don't we? Fucking
can't.
can't.
I find you a job. I move mountains to scrape you off the floor and put you back on your feet.
And this is what I get.
Imagine I cracked under the weight of your neglect.
I've been promoted.
No, she's dead happy.
Uncle Harlow will be so pleased.
I'm worried about him. He might be dying. Like, he might have, like arthritis in his hand. Yeah, he's like losing all his coordination and stuff.
Well, boys, we can do this.
At least you've not gone political, Val. All the interesting people are getting very tedious these days.
We've chosen a side. We're fighting against the dark.
I think she's gonna die, because obviously she's not in the original trilogy. That's a good shot. I don't know why, I just like that shot. It's interesting that they always use this shot. Oh, he's here. The ISB base?
What are you doing here?
I wanted to thank you for the promotion. I'd never lie to you.
So,
Try to follow on the conversation we had last month.
That wasn't a conversation. You were brought in for questioning. Do you have any idea how much trouble you're in right now?
I thought I had ruined my life.
I could have you arrested. You're aware of that.
I want what you want.
You come near me again, you pursue any of this, and I swear I'll have you in a cage on the outer rim.
I mean, he's obviously going to keep on pursuing it. He's basically the main villain, right?
I wish you'd called me sooner. There were better ways to do this.
How much trouble am I in?
There's no trouble at all unless they scan the accounts.
I swear I've seen him too, in something.
Davos Calden,
He's a thug.
the wealthiest thug of them all.
Don't tell me you've spoken to him already.
I wanted to bring you a solution.
We've got a rebel pilot in custody, one of Anton Krieger's...
There's less
picked up at a
ISB
customs
supervisors
check. I don't think Krieger...
showing up for these meetings.
Destroy the ship. Make it look like an accident.
An accident, something mechanical. Have the pilot found dead in the cockpit. What would happen?
They'd have to find it, but they'd tow it into Kafrene.
If we did it quickly.
I wonder if one of them ISB supervisors are with the rebels. He's not making it out of this episode. What's that? Is he having a seizure?
He needs a doctor. Into the cell.
I mean, I don't think they care enough to take him to the doctor. What, the Empire, that is.
We've only got a few shifts left. You're going home.
Who is this? Oh, the med guy. Wait, even the med guy has to take off his shoes?
I haven't seen you for a while. I haven't gone anywhere.
His name is Orlov.
I don't want to know his name.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be connected.
He's got 40 shifts left. And you can't save him.
Nothing to save. He's had a massive stroke.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was either a stroke or a seizure.
I need a bag and a trolley.
He's coming.
Pass peacefully, which is more than I can say for the rest of us. Another week like this, and you'll be begging for what he's getting.
So it's true, they did fire 100 people.
You want to keep your men in line. You'll feel nothing.
What do you mean you feel nothing? He must have felt that.
What happened down on 2? A man who was just released on 4 ended up back on 2 the next day. Word got out on the floor, and then they killed them all.
No one's getting out, are they?
Shit.
How many guards on each level?
Never more than 12.
But yeah, we have to get out. Like, oh. Fuck. See, next episode's going to be really good. It's just, the reaction for that episode is going to be like a day or two late, maybe. Because God of War Ragnarok is coming out and I'm going to be playing that. I'll be too busy with Ragnarok to be reacting to this. But I'm still going to watch this because this show is fucking great. So they killed 100 men because they found out that someone that just got released is back in prison the next day on another floor. So nobody's ever escaping, or nobody ever gets released. Or maybe it's because, like, what happened with Aldani, right? The orders changed. So basically, Cassian was right early on in the episode when he said we're cheaper than droids and easier to replace. Because, I mean, they've just killed 100 people for basically nothing. You know? What's to stop them from killing everyone and then just replacing everyone? Nothing. Now, I'm very curious as to why the prisoners are even doing the shifts. Because whatever they're making has to benefit the Empire in some way, right? Yeah, I was kind of surprised that Vel is Mon Mothma's cousin. I don't think that was ever established, but it works, I guess. And Mon Mothma obviously knows that Vel is involved with Luthen. However, Vel isn't around in Rogue One or A New Hope, so I think it's obvious what happens, right? Same thing applies to Luthen too. So, we'll have to see. I don't know if it's just me, but Karn and Dedra, there's a bit of tension there, if you know what I'm saying. They both want the same thing. You know, Karn, if it wasn't for Dedra, he wouldn't be in the position he's in now, right? So, there's something that's going to be happening there. It's just a shame, like I said, like a few episodes ago. This show is so good, but it's so underrated because of what's been happening with Star Wars in the past decade. Like, Star Wars as a whole has been all over the place. You know, you've had mediocre projects, you've had some decent ones here and there, like Mandalorian and Jedi Fallen Order and Clone Wars and maybe a little bit of Rebels in there too. But, you know, the majority of the fan base watches the films, you know, and considering the sequel trilogy wasn't the best, it's turned a lot of people off of Star Wars. And I guess maybe to an extent, like, Andor as a character wasn't, like, eye-opening, you know what I mean? So not many people would want to tune into this. Like, unless it's a famous character, you know, like Obi-Wan or Boba Fett or, you know, Mandalorian to an extent. The only reason, like, I think Mandalorian popped off is because of Baby Yoda, you know? If it wasn't for Baby Yoda, maybe the show would be in a different place right now. Who knows? It's such a shame, man. Like, this show is so good. It's so grounded. It's so realistic. It makes the Empire actually threatening without using Darth Vader, you know, or the Emperor. And that's what I love about it. Like, you don't need these Sith Lords to make villains terrifying, right? Like, the thing they did to Bix at the beginning of the episode. At the beginning of the episode, I knew Ulif was fucked. Like, he was holding his hand like he had arthritis, and then later on he has a stroke. It was obvious that he wasn't going to make it out of this episode. But in a fucked up way, his death basically progresses the plot. Because now the characters know that no one's making it out. I knew Andor would start planning a way out. And obviously at the beginning of the episode he was working with someone. So I wonder how many people are working on trying to escape. Just get everyone to fight back, why the fuck not? If you ain't gonna free us, we'll free ourselves. But yeah, pretty good episode. A little bit slower, but it makes sense considering we're building to next episode, because they're doing that 3-episode format thing, right? And I didn't know episode 7 was a standalone episode, but now it makes sense. But yeah, like I said, next episode will be a little bit late, maybe by a day or 2 max. But don't worry, it's coming, because it's the end of a story arc, you know, and it's going to be the start of, like, the finale, right? So there's going to be a lot of build-up. Because I know episode 11 and 12 are basically like a 2-part finale, right? That basically wraps up the shitty review. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Ta-ta and farewell.